This kid's fire.
What's that? What's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, what's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, what's that? What's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother, what's that, brother? What's that? What's that, brother? Brother,
Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Hopefully, you guys are all doing well. Smash the likes up. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. Subscribe to Nobbins' channel. He's just done his analysis video, which I've just finished literally just watching before I went live. So, hence the delay. So make sure you go check that out on L Nobbins' channel. Make sure you go and check it out. Make sure you smash the like, subscribing to the channel as well if you are new. Big up to you, Bray. How you doing, Bray?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Yeah, it's a bank holiday weekend, so my family are off work, so we're gonna go hang out together.
And you still gave time for me?
Yeah, of course.
Actually, fucking thank you very much, bro. That's very nice. You could have easily cancelled because it's bank holiday Monday, isn't it? But
Oh, yeah, well,
still turning up, man.
No, of course, yeah. Well, someone said, can we start early? I was like, no, can't actually, because I'm going to be on Elbins. I'm committed.
Wow, that is mega, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you to your family. Hopefully, you have a great day. Well, let's get stuck in because we're obviously I'm on Saeed at 12. Going to get cooked, so yeah, I think we need to get this show done. Your views very interesting on this game. I can't lie. And I've watched your video, and to be fair, your views have maybe not completely changed my opinion, but made me take a step back and go,
okay, because I don't know your opinion. So that could we start with that maybe? Frame
yeah,
where
okay,
you
so
are at.
My opinion. Well, there's quite a lot, obviously, with me. First of all, something that you didn't actually. Well, actually, you did touch on it in tiny detail. For my main issue with Saturday, bro, was the way we actually set up to play. And I want to hear your opinion on this. On Friday night, when I did the preview, I said keep the same midfield, don't change it. Keep Nico G, Bernardo, and Reinders. Keep it tight, right? And he didn't. Obviously, he dropped Bernardo and put Shirky in there, which I felt was a mistake. As exciting as it was when the team came out, it was a mistake. However, my main issue for me was the way that we were playing, bro. I just didn't like it. And you touched on this a little bit when you covered the Trafford mistake and you criticised Diaz for his pass. You criticised Nico G for coming short. And for me, like, when you've got a 22-year-old in net who's making his debut at the Etihad Stadium, right? Why are we playing like that, bro? So I just felt the whole way that we was playing the game was very, very naive. I didn't like it. I felt we should have gone along a little bit more. You showed the clip in your video where we had a potential 3-on-2 situation where Haaland had, I think, Romero pinned back and Marmoush was running through the middle. And if you flick on, he's through on goal. And I just felt that we should have played like that a little bit more pragmatic, a little bit more less fancy, a little bit more tiki-taka. And I felt that we paid the price. And the annoying thing about it for me is that I think that goal was scripted, that Trafford one. It was a scripted goal. Like, you've watched football for a long time. You're telling me you're shocked about what you saw in that moment. Like, it was so obviously going to happen. So that was my main gripe from Saturday. I didn't like the way we played. I thought it was naive. I felt the way I've been describing it to the chat, bro, is I felt like I've been watching a team that was on a 10, 15 match winning streak. And I felt that, ultimately, I actually think that Pep got his tactics completely wrong. And you didn't actually touch on that as sort of like a big thing, but you did mention certain points that sort of correlate with what I'm saying.
Yeah,
what do you think about it? Do you agree, or?
Yeah, but I would agree with that. To be fair, yeah, again, the lineup did look fun, but there's a reason why I've never suggested a team to have both Shirky and Bob in it right now, because it means that one of them's going to have to play in the center off ball, and I don't think that either of them have the requisite experience playing for City long enough in those central areas for me to be confident with doing that. So I was a little bit concerned when I saw us rocking up in a 4-1-4-1, and it was Shirky as that right central midfielder. I was definitely concerned about that. Not that was necessarily a detriment to the team, but that's definitely what concerns me about the lineup. And I definitely agree about the second goal. Of course, Trafford has to bear the vast majority of the blame because he made the terrible mistake, of course. There's no getting away from that. But at the same time, you do still have to go, right, well, the captain's there, and why are we making that decision in that moment? And when we saw earlier in the match, as you touched on, where Trafford just plays it long, Haaland flicks it on, Porro makes an error, Marmoush runs onto it, and it's a whisker wide, or it's just wide, whatever. There was a potential moment for that as well. And this is something that I covered in my tactical preview. There was always a possibility that Frank, who did the exact same with Brentford last season, would do a similar thing with Spurs, where he pushes everyone up to our box. It's man-to-man, and that leaves numbers at the back for Haaland to attack. But we didn't exploit that often enough, and that was a shame, to be honest with you. But at the same time, and this is why my take on it after, even when watching it the first time and watching it back a second time, of course, I'm not happy with the result, not ecstatic about the performance, but I don't think that Spurs were as good as many people made them out to be. They were good, but I saw some people suggesting it was a frank tactical masterclass and an unreal out of possession performance. And I don't think that's fair based on the chances that City were able to create, the number of goals that we should have scored. That Marmoush one is terrible. It's a terrible
score that, yeah.
The Haaland header, that's a terrible miss. The Haaland pass to no one, that's a tap in. That's basically, and again, that's something I touched on in my video, that's basically what's happened to us on the other end with Trafford making the error. Vicario makes a similar horrendous error, and we just don't capitalise on it, whereas Spurs did. So I don't think it's as simple as Spurs were excellent, City were terrible. I actually think that, yeah, there's more to it than that. And we were really the architects of our own downfall. We had some amazing chances to score. Even late on with that Rodri header, it's a free header, and he should be doing so much better there.
Yeah, I know.
I don't understand why.
The goalkeeper.
Yeah. So that was bizarre. And I think that was Foden's first touch as well. So that would have been quite funny. But that didn't happen. And there were a number of moments, again, where we made the errors ourselves. Our passing was too sloppy and not good enough. Even when under zero pressure, you got players just making the wrong decision, the wrong action, the final third, the wrong pass. And as I say, a lot of it, some of it was forced. Like a Diaz at the back not being a left-footed defender. I think that does matter. But yeah, I just think that it's early days. It is the second game of the season. The City weren't as bad as people are suggesting. The first half in particular, I actually thought we were quite good. So that's my basic take on it. I'm not saying that people can't be upset about the result, because I'm upset about the results, but I do think it's silly to sort of throw the towel in already this season and go, right, well, that's the end of it. We're not going to do anything this year. I don't think that's the correct conclusion. That's my hot take anyway.
Yeah, I just felt like throughout the whole game, I felt, bro, that we looked very disjointed, man. I actually didn't think Nico G had a particularly good game, which is quite interesting because I know in your video you said you thought he played quite well.
Yeah, I disagree there. I liked Nico's performance.
I just don't think he was good enough on his own. I think he needs somebody next to him. Yeah, it's no surprise to me.
I still agree with that. Yeah,
It's no surprise to me that against Wolves, I think he's had his best game in a City shirt, and you had Bernardo Silva next to him. And then yesterday or Saturday, yeah, I don't understand for me why Pep Guardiola would do that to Nico Gonzalez in such a huge game. Why would Pep say to Nico G, you've now got to do what you just did against Wolves against a better team on your own? Like, why did he not give him any protection? Was he thinking that Rico Lewis and Ait Nouri was going to help him? I'm sorry, that's just not the same as having a Bernardo Silva next to you, is it? So this again, I've got a question, Pep, on that. I think he got that. I think that was a mistake.
Yeah, I would agree. Like when my midfield of choice for that match, because we are still early on, and because the midfield played so well against Spurs, I also would have gone for the same midfield three as against Wolves, just to have a bit of security. Maybe Pep was thinking that, because to be fair, a lot of people were saying this. Maybe he was thinking that Spurs were going to set up really defensively. Maybe he thought they were going to set up in the back five, and that therefore you want a more adventurous midfield. I'm not sure. Either way, I personally don't agree with it. Again, I would have liked to have had Bernardo in it. But I thought that Nico had a good game, to be honest with you. I know there was like a moment early on where he like overcomplicated it, and then he gave away a free kick and a touch, and how I didn't really like his positioning for the second goal. But overall, I thought he was all right. I thought he was good defensively. I thought he was solid in possession. There were some good forward passes from him. But I would agree that it was quite surprising because I would say he was even more isolated against Wolves, even if you forget about the personnel, because I would describe the Wolves shape as more as a 4-3-3, whereas the Spurs one, I'd describe it more as a 4-1. So an emphasis on that one, which I don't personally, I wouldn't have had him do. But yeah, again, maybe it's because Pep was thinking Spurs are going to be a bit more defensive. Not sure on that one.
All right, can we touch on our defense, please? Because I think it's time for AK-45, mate. Yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time for Huzanov. Yeah, this defense just ain't doing it for me. Yeah, I tried to back it. I said, come on, let's get a Stones, Diaz, remontada going. Yeah, treble season, they were amazing. But I think it looks like an expired partnership to me, like a loaf of bread that has gone a bit stale. Like, that's what I'm looking at. Like, yeah, it was once a great loaf of bread, but now, I mean, you got to scrape some of the fucking mold off it. Like, I ain't about that, man. We're meant to be an elite level team. For me, I think you've got to get AK-45 in there. Yeah, I think Diaz for me is not offering me anything on the pitch that I think I need. You know what I mean? He's not got pace. He doesn't win headers. He's poor on the ball. Huzanov got pace, better in the air, and he's actually better on the ball. Yeah, we've got this guy in 30 million quid, bro. Yeah, I think you've got to get AK-45 in there. Yeah, and what I'd be running at Brighton this weekend will be a Nunes, Huzanov, Stones, Gvardiol, providing Gvardiol's fit, but he should be fit. And by the way, I checked last night, one of our best performances last season, Newcastle at home, back four, Gvardiol, Stones, AK-45, and in that game it was Rico Lewis. So people saying, well, we can't do that because Diaz won't be there and blah, 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 leadership. Well, we played the same back four. We played Rico instead of Nunes, and we won 4-0, kept a clean sheet against one of the best teams in the league, and that was one of our best performances. So we can do it. We've done it, and it's worked. I think you've got to get AK-45. The lack of pace, mate, is poor. And Diaz isn't winning any headers, man. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't win any headers. I see that one for the first goal, man.
Yeah,
partially to blame.
Enough. Yeah, no, I agree. I'd go, and I'd also add to that if we are sort of preparing ourselves for a post-Ederson world, and more specifically like a Donnarumma world, then I think that you need your best ball-playing centre-backs on the pitch to try to compensate. I don't think that ever can be fully compensated, but to try to mitigate it a little bit. And that does entail both Gvardiol and Stones, if Stones is fit, obviously, being on the pitch. And it certainly doesn't involve Diaz being left centre-back. If we're playing a back two, and we saw against Spurs, there were times where he struggled to build out because he's not left-footed. Whereas Gvardiol he has far more angles. So I would definitely agree if Gvardiol's fit, Gvardiol's got to come as soon as possible, has to come in as soon as possible. What I would do, though, is I would keep Gvardiol at centre-back.
Yeah.
And I'd play O'Reilly at left-back.
Okay.
And I'd have Stones, and I'd go Nunes at right-back as well. And then because O'Reilly with his positioning, you can either have him pushing on. I guess Gvardiol can do that as well, to be fair, but I just like Gvardiol in the centre. I think that we've now, the last season, established, and we already knew as a centre-back, but for the most part, I want Gvardiol to be like a third-choice left-back with O'Reilly being a second-choice left-back so he can get more minutes as well. And also, if we're having the situation where the full-back goes into the centre, then that's actually good midfield experience for him as well, because he's technically playing midfield in possession. So, and that's obviously where his future is. So, I don't disagree with like the Gvardiol take. Absolutely, I wouldn't dislike Kusanov starting because I'm a big fan of Kusanov, but I think right now I want to keep the centre back partnership of our two best ball playing centre backs. And to me, that's Gvardiol, Stones, and as I say, O'Reilly. You can either have him invert, or you can do what he did last season, where he pushed on, and then the left winger like tucked in a little bit more. So I guess like his positioning might depend on which left winger you start. If you start Marmoush, you might want Nico O'Reilly to be a bit more adventurous, more as like a bombing, marauding left wing back, whatever. If you're playing Doku, you might want him to play more in like the in the midfield, next to Rodri, that sort of thing. So that's why I'd go for O'Reilly. But Gvardiol works as well, absolutely. I'm just thinking about I want a left-footed left centre back. That's all.
Yeah, I know, and that's in my situation. That's probably the only downside to that is that you don't have it. But for me, I think we need to start to go long, man. I think we need to start going longer more. Teams are pressing us a lot more than they ever done before because they think they can get at us. Yeah, we're constantly playing these risky passes on the edge of our box. And I know what people say, well, we've done that for years. We've done that for years. Yeah, we've done it for years with better players. We did it for years when teams sometimes press us, but they don't believe they're going to win it. They do it half-heartedly. We just play it back. Teams are now full sending the press on us because they believe that they can actually catch us out, and they are catching us out. Yeah, we're playing these mad risky passes. I'm sorry, man. I think you've got to start going long much more to Haaland. The guy's 6'5". Yeah, absolute unit up top. Right, he's got to start winning some headers and like winning flick-ons and bringing the ball down and that, and then let Marmoush play off him. Again, if we go back to the Newcastle game, yeah, where we won 4-0, we played with the back four that I'm suggesting, bar Nunes for Rico. That's the only swap that we did. We was going direct a lot more in that game. I remember Marmoush in that game. Yeah, obviously got a hat trick. He was literally playing in the dream position for me. Yeah, Haaland was winning headers. He was holding up the play, and Marmoush was just playing off him all game. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, the defenders and midfielders are so worried about Haaland. Marmoush gets all this like space, and that's what happened in that game. I think for me, I just think Pep just needs to, just for the next 5, 6, 7 games or whatever, just adapt the play. Do you know what I mean? We don't have to play like such risky passes on the edge of our box all the time. Some of the passes that we were playing against Spurs were ridiculous. Yeah, I've got to criticise John Stones on that as well. Yeah, that little dink passes in behind their attack, like try to pop it off and shit. Yeah, it's like fucking hell, man. Like, we're not that team at the moment. We're not. We've got to realise what team we are. We're a team that needs to fight and scrap for points. Yeah, because we ain't got the confidence. We've not got match fitness into a lot of these players. Yeah, Stones played 1,000 minutes. He's not going to be fully match fit. Rodri's only just come back. Yeah, look at midfield. Yeah, we had Gonzalez been here 6 months. Cherky been here 2 months. Reinder's been here 2 months. Yeah. Marmoush been here 6 months. Nori on the left, inverted in, has been here a month. Like, you know what I mean? I just feel that, Pep, man, I feel like you need to, in my opinion, I think he just needs to, like, I don't know, be a bit more old school and get the ball forward as quick. Get the ball away from our net because we're making too many mistakes. We're making bozo errors last year, and we made a bozo error in that Spurs game. So get the ball away from our goal. Why are we fucking about with it on the edge of our box for, man?
Yeah, I think that definitely it should be used as a weapon. Like we've seen City utilise the long ball as a tool a lot at City, certainly over the past few years as well. Again, that's one of the reasons why I did want Ederson to start against Spurs, because I was fearful of a what if Frank sets up Spurs in the same way he did Brentford last season, and that is what came to pass. And we got out of that because Ederson played it long to Haaland, who obviously scored the goal. So there's definitely a time and a place for going long, 100%. There is, all I would say is that there's a difference between a long pass and a long ball. A long ball is what I would describe as more so just like generic punt into a general area for a player to hit, for like a City player to compete with, and it's sort of like a 50-50. They might win it, they might not. You don't want that, because then you're creating like a chaotic game state, and that's actually what United have been doing like over the past basically since Amorim came in. you're then reliant on winning second balls, and it becomes, as I say, in a far less controlled state. Yeah, I'd say long ball is a little bit aimless. Yeah, definitely. Whereas a long pass, and that's something that Ederson always had in his locker. We've seen Trafford do that a couple of times, but I would say that with his distribution, that's probably the weakest element of his game. Is that he can do it, and again, it can relieve pressure. But if you're just punting it up and then giving it back to the opposition for it to come straight back at you, it's a tricky one, I think. So there's got to be a I don't know what the term I'm after is here. Like not a measuring act. I don't know what I'm trying to say. A balancing act. That's the term, isn't it? Yeah.
No, and I agree. I'm not saying like play like Tony Pulis and just launch the ball.
I know you're not. Yeah.
I'm saying, unless we've got to understand, mate. Yeah, we're not that good as a football team right now. We're just not. We're not a great team. We're a decent team on our day. Yeah. So quit these fucking stupid, crappy little risky passes on the edge of our penalty area and players are being pressed. If Diaz is stood on the edge of the box and no one's marking him or no one's within 5 yards, cool, passing the ball, not just saying go long, yeah? But if a player like Gonzalez or a player like Rico or Nunes or whoever it is as a player within 5 yards and nobody else is available, then for me, we should be saying in that situation, we ain't good enough right now to be playing those risky passes, get the ball long to 6'5" and play off him. If a player's available, cool, pass him the ball. If they're not, get rid of it, man. We are causing our own problems. You can see the players are not confident. You can see Stones, he's playing these risky passes. He doesn't trust the goalkeeper. Diaz doesn't have the ability to play these risky passes because he's not good enough to do it anyway. You know, you've got Rico, who's under a lot of pressure. He's probably shitting himself every time. I just think, like, again, it's the mind frame of the team. The way the team is set up for me is just like, I just think it's not right. And I think if we carry on playing like this, you're going to see more and more mistakes from us playing out the back because we ain't good enough / we ain't confident enough. We need to humble ourselves. We need to realise what we are, start picking up points, and then when the confidence gets back into the team and the match sharpness of the players rises, then by all means get back at it, man. But right now, I just think the whole approach is not right, bro. Especially against the better teams, and we're playing 3 good teams coming up.
Yeah, that's the concern, isn't it? Because I think that you can get away, like against Wolves, for example, you can get away with it a little bit more because a team like Wolves or whoever, they're not going to be as adventurous, brave, whatever term you want to use, with their pressing. They're going to be more willing to just sit in deep. Whereas, again, teams who have the personnel to press or the better technical sides, such as Spurs, obviously, maybe a Brighton as well, all these better sides, they are going to, again, look at City's keeper, whoever it is, and I think Trafford's distribution is above average to good based on his career so far. But regardless, no one is Ederson's level. So, and this is my concern, that if we go for an even inferior ball playing goalkeeper, and they look at that and they go, why don't we just like press the shit out of them? Because in the past we've not been able to do that, whereas now we might as well. And again, they're going to be playing long balls rather than long passes. We can just win the second balls. So yeah, I think that a lot of City fans will be in a bit of a rude awakening in a post-Ederson world. To be fair, I think that maybe he's going to be one of those players where maybe he's not as appreciated in the now by some fans. And I think that when he leaves, I think, and we see the issues happening at City, if we do indeed continue to play like this, I think that maybe his stock will actually go up in a lot of City fans' minds.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree with it, man. I completely agree with it. Yeah, of course we have to adjust. You can't just keep playing the same style to the extremes that we were doing with Ederson. Ederson, right, is the best goalkeeper I've ever seen with the ball at his feet. Yeah. Whoever comes in is not going to be half as good as Ederson on the ball. Whether it's Trafford, whether you bring Bravo back, whoever. Like, that's Ederson is literally the GOAT with the ball at his feet. The drop-off is going to be insane. You cannot continue to play the mad, risky passes that Ederson played. You have to mix it up. We have to adapt. And I just fear that if we keep playing like this to the extremes that we have been doing over the last 8 years, we're just going to get caught out again and again and again, especially against the better teams. Yeah, because they fancy it now. Teams will be looking at what Trafford did against Spurs, right? And they'll fancy that now. Yeah, you watch Brighton now, they'll be pressing us off the park, mate. Yeah, don't know what United do because they're a weird team. Arsenal the same. Yeah, the teams fear or they can smell Manchester City errors. You know what it was like last year? How many errors we made? All the bozos. Yeah, Pep spoke about it in the interview. He said every week we're making errors. The players have spoke about it, but we just keep making errors. And then look what happened against Spurs. Error. You know what I mean? And then obviously you compound that with the fact that when we get in front of goal, who knows, flip a coin. You know what I mean? Like look at Wolves, 4 shots on target, 4 goals, and then look at the game against fucking Spurs. Like, I don't know, man. Like,
Tricky.
I think we've got to adapt, and I think we have to bring ourselves down a level and say we're not that good anymore like we used to be. We're a good team, but we're not as good as we used to be. And in that situation, we need to scrap for points, keep it tight in midfield. Yeah. Stick 2 defensive midfielders in there if you have to. Rodri and Gonzalez, Rodri and Bernardo, whatever. Keep it tight. Stop letting the players play through us. Stop opening up our midfield. Get a defense that can actually defend. Have a bit of pace in there and try and nick it. And then towards the end of the game, if you're still drawing or whatever, then throw Cherky on or whatever. But I just think for me, the whole approach in that game was wrong. And I think Pep clocked it when he I think that sub Cherky off for Bernardo on. I personally believe that's Pep. He realised he'd made a mistake. That's why he's made the subs. The problem is it compounded our problems then because then we didn't have Cherky on the pitch when we needed a goal.
Yeah.
So we actually got worse when he brought Bernardo Silva on. It was the wrong way around.
Yeah, it was a Bernardo just did, on an individual level, just didn't have a good game, did he? To be fair, that was pretty poor. I think a lot of it's also decision making as well, and maybe that just comes with time. I think that City can't abandon playing out from the back because that's just how City play, and you want to have the ball, you want to have possession, you don't want to make it like a chaotic 50-50 loose ball thing in the middle because the best sides historically have most of the possession. So you still need to make sure that you're not, seceding too much of it. But yeah, it's about doing it at the right time, and that's just a decision-making thing, I think. And maybe that does just come with experience / time, as I say. That's the goalkeeping situation. Bernardo you've touched on. Hey, we at least ended the game with the midfield that I wanted and wanted in the summer, so I'm leaving with something.
Rodri, Reinders, Foden.
Yeah, so I'm leaving with something. That's my preferred midfield 3.
Yeah, I'm a bit torn on whether I definitely want that long term. Short term.
Oh yeah, same.
I think short term I would probably stick Rodri with Gonzalez or Rodri with Bernardo and Reinders. Just in the short term, just till we scrap these results out, yeah. And then maybe after the Arsenal game, we've got a couple of easier football matches after the Arsenal game. Then maybe I'd start, experimenting and trying to open up a little bit and be more offensive. But that's definitely my long-term midfield, 100%.
Yeah, I just think City looked so much better obviously when Rodri came on, but also when Foden came on as well. I thought he had a good connection down that left side with Doku. But Rodri, as we know, is obviously the one that we need to do. But I do think that is the future for me, anyway.
No, defo. All right, smash these likes up, lads, if you've not done so already, man. Make sure you guys are subbed up to the channel as well. Big up. By the way, we have got the Newcastle-Liverpool watch-along tonight. Second channel, though. More LB, link in description. And make sure you guys are checking out Nobbin's channel. Great analysis video. And I watched it before the stream. Make sure you go check it out for a more in-depth review on that. See more key passes in our own box than the opposition's. Yeah, I know we do. It's mad. It's actually wild, bro. I can't stand it, mate. I can't stand it. It pisses me off. Saying, lads, what is your 11 going into the next game? Do you think the future Juma Bar Huzanov will be starting? Huzanov should be starting for me. I think you need his pace, and I just think he's a better defender than Diaz, if I'm being completely honest. I think he's a better defender than him, and he's faster than him. So I think you need to get him in there. Juma Bar, don't know. It's early days. Let's see what he does. But yeah, back 4 for me. Probably going to be Trafford again, unless Donnarumma signs like today. So yeah, I'll give you my back 4. For me, I'd stick Rodri in for Brighton. I think you've got to get him in there. I'd probably go Rodri, Gonzalez, Reinders, Foden off the right, Haaland up top, and take your pick, man. I'm not really liking our winger options on the left. So whoever on the left, don't really care. That's what I'd go for.
Fairs.
Big up to Lewis, man. And shout out to Flaw says, did you watch the Savio Girona? No, I didn't actually. Did I, bro? It was 2:00 in the morning. I wanted to go sleep, man. So no, I didn't watch it. I
Let
am
him
gonna watch it
rest.
though. I said I'm gonna watch. I want to see what Savio's goals were like for Girona, because he scored 9 league goals when we signed him for Girona. I want to see what his goals were like. You know what I mean? Like, how is he? Was he fucking whacking it? Was he curling it? Like, what was he doing? You get what I'm saying? Because how do you go from scoring 9 league goals to 1? So I'm gonna check it. You could. Well, no, I'm not playing Bob on the right. No shade on him. It's not like I'm dropping him because he's shit. I just think you've got to get Foden into the team, in my opinion. Now, you could play Bob left, by the way. If you wanted to play Bob left, I'm cool with that. But you need to get Foden into the team. I'm personally not ready to open up that midfield enough yet. So I stick Foden on the right, play with Nunes, tuck Foden in. Nunes on the overlap, like we saw a lot last year. Cool with that. And then left wing, whatever. Doku, Marmoush, Bob. I'm just not asked. So yeah, I think you've got to get Foden into this team. Like, we fucking need him. And you know, he looked active when he come on.
I thought he looked very good, to be honest.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
the 10, 15 minutes, should have had an assist. 50 minutes on the pitch. Looked tidy.
What was the assist? What was that chance?
Corner.
The corner to Rodri. Oh yeah, he should have done better with that, shouldn't he, Rodri? I don't want to criticise him too much. He's only just come back, but it's literally a free header.
Yeah, I know, it's a free header.
I mean?
All he's got to do is like position it like away from the keeper. Yeah. Shame.
Yeah. No, okay. Oh yeah, smash these likes up, boys. Can we speak about our wing options, bro? Because
yeah,
the wing options at the moment are getting me down, and I need you to give me your thoughts on it.
Okay.
Other than Bob, obviously we'll assume Savio is going at the moment because that's looking potentially likely. They're just uninspiring to me. I don't believe in any of them. Like, I want to believe in Bob. I believe in Bob. I believe in Foden. I believe in these players when they step on the pitch. I believe they're going to do something. These other players, I just don't believe in them, man. I don't believe in him. I don't think Marmoush is a touchline winger. You actually spoke about that in your video. You know, say you got to get him in field with Nori, you know what I mean, or maybe Gvardiol or whatever. If you're playing Marmoush on the left of the wing, I just don't think that's the play at all. So unless he's getting support and is allowed to tuck in and get closer to Haaland, I don't think that's a play. I just don't rate Doku in this team. I don't think he can link up at all with Haaland, which is proved by the stats. And obviously, he's not playing Savinho left, but he's going to go anyway. And Bob at the moment looks like he's going to be favoured on the right. So can you glaze our wingers, or at least tell me I'm wrong? Because it's just frustrating me, man. I can't lie.
I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I don't think that's fair. My preferred setup doesn't have a left winger at left wing, so it's a bit of a moot point for me. I've got Nori at left wing in my preferred setup, and I've got Marmoush central. So I don't really see it as an issue, because the shape that I would go with is having a left back be my left winger, whether that's Nori or whether that's O'Reilly. So I think I'm coming at it from a different point of view anyway. But if you want me to like touch on the individual players, we've seen how brilliant Marmoush can be when he's been given the right support. He should have scored, even like a game like where I felt like he wasn't particularly good against Spurs. He still should have had a goal. We were still able to create that for him. So that was a thing. So I'm still very happy with the concept of Marmoush there, so long as he's given the right support. I don't know if I'm like getting closer and closer into the minority here, but I'm still backing Doku. I do still like Doku. I do think that he offers us something unique. And I think that certainly if you're going to play a more defensive left back, then I think that Doku is a must. Like, he literally has to start, because otherwise we have no left side. So if like he's playing Ake, for example, I think Doku by definition has to start. Otherwise you lead to a situation where Marmoush isn't getting the help, and Marmoush can't do it isolated, whereas we've seen Doku can do it isolated. I know it didn't really lead. It obviously didn't lead to anything because it didn't lead to a goal. But when Foden came on and he was supporting Doku with that run, and like Doku, Haaland passes it's to Foden. Foden plays it to Doku. Doku runs. Foden continues to run. And Doku drags 5 Spurs players towards him. Foden his positioning is really good. He drops back to receive the ball. Doku plays it to him, and it's a fantastic Van de Ven block that ends up doing that. So I don't see why Doku can't just do more of that. Again, I thought he was really good at the Club World Cup. I think he has improved in that sense. I still have faith in Doku personally. I like Doku. I know you don't, but I think that
I just don't think he's right for this team at all.
no,
I don't
I,
think
I,
he's,
I understand
I don't
that.
think he's, I just can't, because for me, bro, yeah, I've been this since day one. I think you got to build the team around Haaland. I think the wingers have to be able to create chances for Haaland, and if they can't, they need to be scoring loads of goals. And I don't think that's a controversial take. You've got a striker there, yeah, who's 6'5", one of the best finishes we've seen. Is on a 10-year contract on 500 grand a week. If you can't create chances for him, then you need to be bringing something else to the team, and that for me is goals. Well, Doku doesn't bring goals, and he doesn't create for Haaland. So I just don't think he suits the team. I think if you put him in a different team, or you drop Haaland and play a false nine, yeah, cool. You want to drop Haaland and play a false nine? Well, maybe that's the plan. But if Haaland's in the team, I think it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me at all. Why does it everything about Haaland? Because we put him on a 10-year contract. He's on £500,000 a week and is our main striker. That's why everything's about Haaland, Taurus. Why have we given him a 10-year contract and put him on 500 grand a week? He is the guy at the top of the pitch that puts the ball in the back of the net. When he plays well and he's scoring goals, we do well. Hence the treble. He scored 52 goals, broke multiple records. We won the treble. Like, he's the guy for me that needs to be created for. And if you're not creating for him, score goals. Well, Doku doesn't score goals and he doesn't create chances for him. Ederson last year got more assists to Haaland than Doku's got in 2 seasons. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, that is crazy, to be fair.
How is my goalkeeper getting more assists to Haaland last year than Doku's got in 2 years?
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Glaze that. Someone glaze that for me.
I'm not claiming that he's not a perfect player, of course. Like, he does have some, a lot of misgivings, but I can still see the value in having him on the pitch. Like, I know that you can say it didn't lead to anything, whatever, but like in a game where like City did struggle to progress at moments against Spurs, like he was the best in that sense. So I still think there is value in him on the pitch if he does have to be supported by the correct ensemble.
I agree.
And I think that maybe the answer to that is probably Foden playing left of centre is probably or Gvardiol, to be fair, left of centre is probably the solution to that. He needs certain, and to be fair, this is most footballers, but yeah, he needs a certain environment to be able to thrive, and there's no reason why we can't do that whilst also having a functional, optimal side. So I might start him against Brighton. I might do that, to be honest. I know I just mentioned how O'Reilly can play, but especially in Nori's absence, I might want Doku to start against Brighton. And that's probably a very controversial.
So what's your midfield then?
I haven't decided yet.
Because for me, if you're playing Doku, when you play Doku, forget Haaland. Because Doku is not going to assist Haaland. The stats prove it. He's got 1 assist in 2 years. So Doku is not going to assist Haaland against Brighton. So for me, then, your midfield, you need to have players that can get the ball off Doku and score a goal. Otherwise, there's literally no point in playing Doku.
I'd like to have Foden in there if possible. I think that
running into
Rodri as well. I think we're at the point now where Pep said they're back. They've had training sessions. They came on for 15 minutes. They both look good outside of a couple of rusty moments. Like, as I say, Rodri heading it back, which could have caused a goal. I know it's Brighton, and I know that they are a very tricky side, and we are away, of course. So maybe that's like a risk that you don't take, but I still think that midfield is solid enough, and I think you can make a very solid in possession shape, especially if you're starting someone like an O'Reilly at left back to pop into the midfield. So that's what I would personally do, and I think that would give him enough support. And to be fair, if he still fails to perform with all that support, then I'd lose patience as well, to be honest.
Yeah, I've already lost patience. I can't.
No, I don't think that's unreasonable.
No. But again, as I've said for 2 years, I don't just blame Doku. I think the way we play is just not suited for Doku in this team at all. I think you need to be getting players into the box. So Reinders needs to be getting into the box. Foden, who obviously created the chance for Foden, because Foden gets into that area well. Haaland's still at the back post. Still don't understand that. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it, man. I'm just the wingers, man. I thought I could manage until 2026, because I've been saying before the season started, I said, we ain't going to sign a winger. this spot will go, and then 2026 we'll sign it, man. But I don't know. I'm gonna struggle watching it, man. I can't even lie. We'll see what happens. But if we get Rodrygo, I'm telling you, Rodrygo. I know you're not a massive fan of the transfer, but if we get Rodrygo will lock down that left wing position, man. 100%. He'll get that left wing position, and no one will get it off him. In my view, I think he's clear of the other two players in that position.
So we're selling Marmoush next summer, then I guess.
Potentially.
Okay.
Potentially, yeah. Because I don't see where Marmoush gets in the team. If we get Rodrygo and Rodrygo locks off that left wing position, which I see happening, where does that leave Marmoush? You know what I mean? Because Haaland's striking as a striker, so his best position will be behind Haaland, but that's where you're going to play Foden. Foden's better at that. So I don't see, I've said this already, I think if we get Rodrygo, in my opinion, Rodrygo will get left wing. Yeah, if we get Rodrygo. Where does that leave Marmoush's minutes? I don't know. So yeah,
this has been my whole point with the whole saga. Yes, I agree.
That's yeah. Now it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Marmoush, man. I struggle to see where his minutes come from if we end up getting Rodrygo. To what you guys say, Omar, yeah, but the problem with that, Taurus, is Foden would be better in that position anyway.
He's not that sort of player either.
Yeah. So again, where does he play? And Pep played him, I think, 1 or 2 games last season. He played Marmoush off the right, wasn't particularly good. So it's left wing invert or bust, because the only other position you can play is false 9 if you drop Haaland. But he's not, the only time you're going to do that is when Haaland's injured. Well, that's not
rotation for Haaland as well, to be fair.
Yeah, rotation. But is he going to be happy with that? I mean, probably not. I mean, Alvarez was playing quite a lot of football, just in a different position, and wanted to get off. So Marmoush probably will as well. So we'll see. I mean, we might even get Rodrygo. I'm just saying, if we do, then just keep your eye out on that. You know what I mean? Because I just really struggle to see where he's going to get into the team anyway.
Mm-hmm.
See what else you guys are saying. Thought he was good on the right, to be honest. Nah, I didn't think he played well on the right, to be honest with you, Marmoush last year. I thought he was.
No, he struggled.
Yeah. Marmoush should be second striker to Haaland. I think that's a great position for him, playing literally off him. But then you've got to face the facts that Foden is probably better at that job anyway. So you'd rather have Foden in that sort of area of the pitch, personally. Thoughts on Savio starting left wing against Brighton, LB? I'm down for it, but obviously, the guy's playing pool. Did you see his Instagram post?
I did, yeah. I don't really get what's going on.
It's mad, isn't it? It's mad. There was some rumours of some Spurs ITK last night that said there's one final bid going in of what was it? 75 million euros last night. That ITK, that Spurs ITK that we've seen on stream. I think it was 75 million euros. It's the final bid that's going in today from Spurs. I think that might have been. Or was it 78? Yeah, it was 78 including add-ons. So
we're getting quite. There's only a week left, isn't there? Yeah. So it feels like we're if the idea is to 1, sell Savio, and then 2, bring in a replacement, we're sort of running out of time to do both of those things, it feels like.
You would imagine that City would have to be simultaneously working on the incoming at the same time.
Yes, indeed.
Which and I'm sure I expect them to be doing anyway.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure I saw I know it's only for Ritzy or whatever. I'm sure I saw a clip of him saying something like the deal is the concept of the Rodrygo deal is getting harder and harder because of the wages Rodrygo's on, because of the money that Real Madrid wants and that sort of thing. So the way he was framing it, it just seemed to suggest that time's almost running out. That's the way he seemed to be framing the situation.
Which is why I think, we've got to hear something today or tomorrow. We've got to, because if say we don't hear anything today or tomorrow, we get to Wednesday. Say we've still not had a here we go on Wednesday, right? And then the here we go lands on Wednesday. Yeah, well, what? The medical and that does the next day, so maybe Thursday. Maybe the deal gets announced Thursday night. That leaves you with 3 days to sign Rodrygo from Real Madrid. Now, unless City have done a lot of groundwork on the deal already, maybe they've already basically agreed a fee with Real Madrid and agreed personal terms with Rodrygo, but it's all contingent on Savio leaving. So as soon as Savio goes, bang, sign a contract, and the Rodrygo thing is pretty much done. But if that was the case, you'd imagine that you would be hearing a little bit more of that like you would maybe imagine that Fabrizio wouldn't be saying, "Oh, this is really hard." You'd imagine he would be saying stuff like, "City feel are confident," or "This deal is possible if City pay the money and they feel like they can pay the money." Where he's sort of like say he's downplaying everything. He's like, "Yeah, it's going to be tough." Blah 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 blah. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen. And I just don't think you can let Savio go and not get a replacement. Especially you've lost Grealish, right? And I know a lot of people are like Grealish. Well, he played 1,000 minutes last year. Savio played 3,500 minutes last year. That's 4,500 minutes. So where are those minutes going to? We're going to give 4,500 minutes to Bob in his very first season. I mean, that'd just be ridiculous. You know,
Yeah.
so you've got to spread those minutes out. You have to buy a replacement. You've let McAtee go. He probably got another 800 minutes or 600 minutes. So you're up to over 5,000 minutes now of time on the pitch that you've now lost. Yeah.
Yeah. I've always maintained if you're going to sell, if the idea is to sell Savio, I don't know why you'd get a left winger, but fine. If we're going to say that, that's fine. If you're going to get a left winger, get a proper left winger. Not a left-sided inside forward. That's what I would say on that. I think we're already quite narrow. I don't know if I want another narrow player.
Unless he plans to unleash Ike Nori on an overlap. Because we're not really seeing that from Ike Nori yet.
Not enough times. But even if he does, to me, right now, there are too many narrow players in the side. And not enough wide players in the side. So if we're selling a wide player and bringing in another narrow player, I think that makes the balance even worse for me. So I'd rather go out and get an actual wide player if the aim is to sell a wide player.
This is why I'm quite surprised that you don't think Savio is better on the left-hand side. Because I think that Savio, when he's on that left, I just think he's like perfect for the team. Like the way he goes past players, his crossing ability with his left foot is fantastic. Yeah, we've seen that cross that he did against West Ham for Haaland, back post, great cross, headed in by Haaland, man. Like, I'd love to see Savio on the left, man. I'd just love to see it.
I don't disagree. I like Savio on the left, by the way. I think that he still has a lot of tools in his arsenal there, but I would still maintain that he's a bit more one-dimensional on that left side compared to the right, and that his ceiling is probably off the right side. Now, you could make the argument, a very strong argument, to be fair, that at this stage of Savio's career, when he's obviously quite young and relatively inexperienced, maybe it's good to simplify his game a bit more and play him off the left, so he only has like one or two things to really focus on, especially given City aren't, at the levels that we would like to see. And then maybe at a later date, you pop him back on the right. Because as I say, I just think he has more tools on that right side. He himself has said that he prefers the right side. He himself has described himself as a right winger. I think that matters. And I tend to agree with Savio based on what I've seen of him so far. As I said, I just think there is more to his game off the right side. And I think that this is how I describe it. You could say that, again, in the early stages of his career, maybe his floor as a player is higher on the left, but I would argue that his ceiling is higher off the right. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it completely makes perfect sense. And I agree what you're saying, but until he can shoot, I think he's better on the left. As soon as because he gets into shooting positions a lot on that right hand side, but his shooting is so bad that it's irrelevant. So I just think until he improves his shooting ability, stick him on the left and just say your crossing's really, really good. Yeah. Get the ball in the box, right? And in training, work on your shooting. And then when he gets that shooting on point and he's more confident or whatever, then stick him on the right. But, until he gets better at shooting, for me, I just stick him on the left-hand side. And again, I'm going to do it today, chat. I'm going to go and watch his 9 goals for Girona. Yeah, I want to see, or 8 goals, whatever it was. I want to see how he scored those 8 goals. What type of finishes were they on the left-hand side?
The vast majority were on the left because obviously he played the vast majority of his Girona minutes off that left side, yeah.
Yeah, but I want to see how are those goals going in, because my prediction that I made last night when I had this conversation with the chat last night is I think when he's on the left hand side, I think he's cutting across the ball with his left foot and basically going for power. Whereas when he's on the right hand side, I think he's trying to place it, because you see a lot of the time when Savio's shooting off the right, his shots are so weak because I think he's trying to place it. My prediction, and I've not seen it. I might do a video on it. Yeah. His goals on the left, I'm predicting, and I could be completely wrong, but I'm predicting because he's on the left-hand side, he's doing what Leroy Sané used to do. and just go bang with his left foot into the
Yeah,
bottom
I believe that's correct. Yeah.
and basically just say, well, I can't place it because I'm on my left hand, so I'm just going to go for power.
Mhm.
And again, you know what I mean? That's the thing. It's just I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, do you know when like the players are at training and that? Like, and I don't know. I've never been in this sort of situation before, but and it might sound a stupid question, but do you think they actually like have these conversations?
They must do,
Like,
surely.
do you think the coaches sit down with Savinho and said, right, you've done this now 3 times already, where you've got in on goal with your left foot off the right hand side and your shot's crap and you're just passing the ball to the goalkeeper effectively. Next time, what we want you to do, yeah, we want you to get in front of it and we want you to just leather it at the goalkeeper as hard as you can and just see what happens.
Hmm.
Like, but
Yeah, they must have those conversations, surely.
But nothing's changed. Like every time, like he went through on goal last season off the right hand side, it was the same stuff: delay, pass the ball to the goalkeeper.
Mm.
Like I don't know. Maybe
No.
you'd imagine they have those conversations, but I
Surely.
don't know if they are having the conversations. So why is he doing the same single thing every time he goes through? Why is he passing the ball to the goalkeeper? I'm not having a go. I'm just saying that,
Yeah.
like I think this guy's a proper player, and I say it again. I don't want to sell Savinho. Yeah, but in my view, yeah, unless he's playing on the left-hand side, whilst he's on that right, he's going to miss a lot of chances, and that could cost us in big games. Because as you saw, yeah, on Saturday, missed chances. Yeah, I didn't think we played well on Saturday, but as Nobbins highlighted in his video that you guys should definitely go and check out, yeah, on the analysis video, despite not playing great, in my opinion, we still created a number of chances, better chances than Spurs created. Yeah, much better chances than Spurs created, but we're not clinical. We've got to have players who can put the ball in the back of the net. So I don't know, man. But
Sorry, I was
it
going
frustrates
to
me.
sneeze. Sorry.
That's cool. It just frustrates me, man. I don't know. Like with Nico Gonzalez, right? For example, that performance that he put in against Wolves, I could see that he's clearly being coached.
Yes, he's improved.
You can,
Definitely.
you can clearly see in that performance against Wolves and even the performance against Spurs that he has been coached and he's better than he was last year. But with Savvy on that right, the shooting, where's the coaching on that? Because if he can learn shooting, mate, oh my God, what a player he's going to be. And he will be a top player because he's a good player.
Definitely, and this is the thing is because lots of people were frustrated with his finishing last season. Of course, I was one of them, but I just think there is some value in looking at the areas he was able to get himself into and the opportunities he was able to create and generate for himself, or the balls he was able to run onto. And again, I know people don't like it when I talk about expected goals and whatnot, but generally speaking, your G matches your XG. So last season it was a massive underperformance, but you'd like to think that if he can just keep generating that amount of chances for himself, then it should ultimately level out. Of course, he will have to improve, but he's a young winger. 21, is he? Relatively inexperienced. I think it's only his second or third season in it was last season, second season in the top flight, maybe. So he's relatively inexperienced, of course, and I don't see why that can't come with time, hopefully. But yeah, if Savio goes and you want a left winger, I know we don't have time to talk about this at length now, but I think I've made my thoughts clear. I don't think you should be targeting a Rodrygo. I think you should be targeting a Barcola or a Leao instead. That sort of profile of
I thought
winger.
you were going to say Leao, funny enough.
Yeah, rather who are more actual wingers rather than more inside forward types, more narrow players, I would describe them as. I think that's the conversation to have. That's the way I would like to see it viewed anyway. I'd be less concerned if we were linked to a wide player, as I say. It's not because I hate Rodrygo. I think he's a great player. It's because I'm looking at the rest of how our team is built, and I don't see why you would double down on that. I think that you should address the concern that we know we all have instead.
Yeah, funny enough, I'm not a massive fan of either of those two players.
Okay. Again, I said Barcola, Leao.
Yeah.
These are examples. I'm not saying go and get them. I'm saying that sort of profile. That's why I said not go get Barcola.
Have you got any? Have you done a video on this, by the way? Potential Savio replacements?
No, because I don't. As soon as I start like a video, the transfer landscape shifts, and now that video becomes redundant. So I'm going to wait to see what actually happens. Of course, if we sign Rodrygo, then I'll of course do an analysis video on it.
Have you got any other names that like you think City should be looking at if we do lose Savinho?
No, because I've not looked into it, to be
Not
honest.
looked into it,
Because
no.
again, I feel like I'd just be wasting my time because
I don't really know like
I
what
don't
other
know if
wingers
he's
are
even
out there.
going.
Yeah, no. I don't even know what other wingers are out there, man, like that you could go and get. Do
No,
you know what I mean?
I've not looked into it, to be fair, not properly anyway. But
This guy's a fucking baller, by the way, man. Yeah,
who's
I know
Sean?
it. Sean is a baller, yeah. Well, but
Oh, he
Kvaradona is a
is.
baller. He likes to cut in and that, but he's a proper player, man. He's
No,
such a perfect Pep Guardiola player. Like
Yeah, he
60
is
million
lovely.
euros, I think they signed him for as well, didn't they?
Yeah, in Jan as well. That's crazy. Yeah. Just if there's a world where City can't sign a winger, I would genuinely rather get an attacking fullback than a winger.
What, right back?
Yeah, because then you've technically created another winger off the right wing by having the right back there, and then Shirky can play off the right, and Bob can play off the right, or even Foden can play off the right. So if you can't find a wide winger, I'd literally rather have a fullback who can do that job rather than directly replacing Savio like that. And that might sound crazy, but that's how important I think the right back situation is, or indeed left back, whatever.
Yeah. Vanderson. Yeah, I've seen a couple of people wanting Vanderson from Monaco. I've not really seen too much about him, to be honest. All right, cool. Let me do these chats and then we'll I've got to come get fucking cooked on Saeed's channel, man. Fuck's
Oh,
sake,
fun.
I'm gonna give him some shit though, man, because he tried to gaslight me last week and say United played well when I thought they were absolutely dog shit.
Yeah, they were poor.
Bro, I couldn't believe what I was listening to last week when they were coming off the game saying, "Oh, we were unlucky, we were mint." Well, we were actually. I was just like, "You were dog shit." Yeah, what they got confused with, yeah, they thought they were good because Arsenal were also really bad. So it made United look better when actually Arsenal were just dog shit and still won the game. That tells you how bad United were. Yeah, and then yesterday, no surprise to me, they probably should have got beat yesterday, man. Fulham was playing them off the park in that last half an hour. Fulham were all over him, man. Unreal. Yeah, if we get beat off United this year, man, it's a disgrace, mate. Yeah, it is actually. By the way, just quickly before we wrap up, yeah. Our record against the top six now is now in the last 2 years, 6 wins in 21.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's not good enough.
It's fucking shambolic, mate. It's getting worse. And now we've got to play United. Have you seen our next 3 games? Brighton away, we lost last year. United at home, we lost last year. Arsenal away, we lost last year. Our next 3 games. And 2 of them are top 6 clubs, which we have a diabolical record against.
There you go. We've got the opportunity for a 9-point swing then.
We do. We do have an opportunity. We've got to get that. Got to start beating some of the big teams, man. You can't just be fucking beating everyone that's shit and going, "Oh, don't worry." Our record against the big 6 teams is bad. And you know what's crazy as well? Like someone put a stat in the chat yesterday. I think it was called Craig or something, or Chad or something like that. And the 2 years before the last 2 years, our record was mint. Yeah. And then in the last 2 years, it's just not been good at all. Even the year we won the league, the fourth title we won, like it wasn't good that year either. We just battered everybody that was like not in the top 6.
I think that one of the only games we won was the Spurs away one.
Yeah, Spurs away, Chelsea away, and
Chelsea away was a draw.
Oh, it was. That was the 4-4, wasn't it? You were right. Yeah. Chelsea at home. Did we beat them at home?
And that was a draw as well. That was 1-1.
Oh yeah, that was the Rodrygo, wasn't it? Yeah, I can't remember. We won 3 games. We beat
United twice, but you know.
Oh yeah, that'll be it then. United twice, yeah, because it's top 6 teams, not like the typical top 6.
Yeah,
like
I get you.
And that. Yeah. Throw Villa and Newcastle in there. It's probably even worse. Big up to Citizen Dartman says Erling is not bringing enough either. LB says Dartman. Well, he just needs to score his chances. He had at least one chance.
He could have had the assist of the season.
Oh yeah, that was a fucking nice.
So I don't agree.
I think people are saying like they want him to like move more and like be more movement in the box and and shit like that. But fundamentally, if he just took his chances on Saturday, we would have been.
Yeah, he should have scored the header. The pass to Shirky when Karl made an error was horrendous, but he did also create the best chance of the game.
He did. Big up Anthony says some breaking news. I've not seen any breaking news, Anthony. Whack it in the chat, whatever it is, bro. But I've not seen anything myself. Big up to you though, mate. Big up to Toe. Says the difference since the treble /4 in a row. No Rodri, no KDB, no Walker, no actual 6. Lack of goal creation, lack of recovery pace. Says Toe.
Yeah, and definitely we need to get Gvardiol, Rodri, Foden all back into the team. as soon as possible, and we should hopefully see a big improvement in
Yeah.
City.
I'd stick all 3 of them in Brighton. I really would.
I would as well, yes.
Yeah. And people say don't risk it. Well, they're all going on international break anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Has Foden been picked, by the way?
Oh, I hope not. I don't know.
Well, but Rodri has, and Gavadio probably will. So they're going to play for the countries anyway. So you might as well play him against Brighton. I always say I'd rather him get injured for City than injured on international duty. So stick him in, man. He also said, I think our new signings mainly offer creation, but we still have no one who can play as a solo 6 and lack recovery pace. Plus, I forgot that Mahrez got GA. Well, I didn't. I've told everyone when we sold Mahrez, man, people underestimate that guy, bro. And ever since he's gone, his stonks have gone up. Mad. Big Up Cactus says, Marmoush is a better finisher than Foden, 100%. Finisher
suggests that he's. I don't know.
One-on-ones and that.
Yeah, it's I feel like it's instinctively it feels true. I don't know what the. Yeah, I'd suggest that's probably true.
Yeah, interesting thought there, Cactus. Big up to you, mate. Big up Citizen Dortmund again says we need competition for Haaland. Buy Isak. Big up Turbo says we cannot get rid of Marmoush. No, I don't want to get rid of him. I think he's great. I think he's a great player. But if we do sign Rodrygo and he nails down that left wing spot, Nobbins is right. Where's Marmoush going to play? False 9? Okay, so you're dropping Haaland. Is he going to be happy with rotation? Playing behind Haaland? Okay, well, that's fine, but Foden's better there anyway. Maybe Cherky is. So that's
by the way, I definitely remember airing these concerns like a month ago, and your chat flamed me for saying that. And now you're saying it. I'm like, yeah.
No, I say
you're
it.
Frauds.
I say it, but I don't use that as a reason not to sign Rodrygo. I still sign Rodrygo.
No, but they were arguing with the concept of what I was saying, not the end point. They were saying, no, it's not true. It won't force him out. You can easily play them both at the same time.
Oh, right.
It's like, well, that's not true, guys.
You could play Rodrygo off the right, but...
No, but you're saying off the left.
Yeah. Because my prediction... I'm saying you can play him off the right, and you could play Marmoush off the left.
Yeah,
so you can,
of course you can
play both in the same team. But my prediction is that I think if Rodrygo comes into the side, he'll end up getting played on the left. I think he'll be better than Marmoush off the left. I think he'll be better than Doku off the left. And I think he'll hold down the left wing, which means Marmoush then will play. And that's how you end up with a situation where Marmoush is like just not getting played.
Yes.
And Big Up Chicken Wing as well says, put the Rodrygo move in the bin. You are not fuming when being taken off if you know you are leaving. Better keep Savinho if no one is coming. It says Chicken Wing. Well, I don't know what that meant. Does it mean? I don't know if we can read too much in. Did you see it? Rodrygo last night got some
him having a little fit. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I don't know what that means, man. Maybe, I don't know if we can read too much.
It probably means nothing. It probably means that he's a professional who's frustrated at coming off in a match they want to stay on. Like, it's not a problem.
No, I agree.
Like,
well, I agree with the
last point. Players react like that.
Yeah, we can't sell Savinho if no one's coming in. You've got to say what I do. Yeah, if Savinho wants to go and we can't get a replacement in, in my opinion, I think you just say, sorry, mate, stay for one more year. We'll sell you next year. And then next year, you go balls deep for Elise on that right-hand side. That's what I'd be doing, mate. Going balls deep for fucking Elise. Yeah, because he's better than Savinho. Gets output. He's homegrown as well, which you'll love. You know what I mean? Because you know how bad our homegrown situation is.
Big up.
Right? So that's what I'd be doing. If you can't get the player to replace Savinho, say you're not going anywhere, you stay in, we'll sell you next year, guaranteed, providing you bring in the bid, and then just go all out for Elise next season. You replace a non-homegrown player with a homegrown player. You replace Savinho with a better player. It's just upgrades all around. Now, whether you can get him out of buying, that's a different question. But anyway, it is what it is. Right, chat. Big up for joining, man. We do these shows every Monday, 11 a.m. Big up to Nobby. I do appreciate you coming on today, man. I didn't realize you was going out with your family, so I hope you have a great day. Right. Anything special?
No, it's just bank holiday, so seeing each other and stuff.
Nice, sweet. Well,
there will still be. I was just saying there will still be an Ask Nobbins later on the channel, so if you want to ask any questions of me, then leave it on the most recent Ask Nobbins, and then I'll try to address as many as I can in today's upload.
Yeah, man. Go check it out. If you've not done so already, guys, go and check out the analysis video that Nobbins did on his channel. It makes the performance not look as bad. It gives us hope, to be honest. I watched it before the stream, man, and I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. You know what I'm saying? So go check it out, man. It's only 20 minutes long. Go check it out on your lunch or something. It's a really good video, man. I might be just saying it. Smash the like. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I'll redirect you to Saeed. I will be getting cooked, but I will also be cooking Saeed at the same time. So I'll see you there. And Liverpool v Newcastle tonight. It's going to be a cracker. More LB. Link in description. See you later.